and they're trying to cheat to win.
Cheat to win. I mean, but this is what majorities do. They redraw lines.
It is completely and totally unprecedented to engage in mid-decade redistricting. That is only being done because House Republicans in Texas and beyond know they have no track record of success. The lines for Texas have already been drawn, and in fact, they are already heavily gerrymandered. They have been ordered by Donald Trump, who is their political puppet master, to try to do everything possible to avoid a free and fair election. That's what this is all about in Texas. But we believe it may actually backfire, and that they may draw lines that endanger their Republican incumbents.
So it sounds like you think you can get back in the majority, even if they succeed in Texas.
We are going to be successful regardless of what they do in Texas. But the principle of free and fair elections is one that we should fight for. And these Republicans are trying to disenfranchise millions of voters in Texas as part of a scheme to rig the midterm elections.
Now, we know that there's talk now among Democrats of responding in kind, including in California. Up to 5 seats, we are hearing about this. Are you supportive of this effort in California, changing lines in California to respond to what's going on in Texas?
I'm going to let the governor of California speak for himself and the people of California, as well as the leaders of the California delegation. But in my view, all options are on the table in terms of making sure that there are fair maps throughout the country. The people of Texas are at risk of not having fair maps. We have a responsibility of making sure that we look at every single state of the union and do what we can to ensure that we maximize fairness in those jurisdictions.
Wouldn't that be a risk, though, in California, because you have to go through a ballot initiative to change the law? Is that a risk if Democrats go down that route?
That's an open question, and it's my understanding that some of the best and brightest lawyers in the country are looking at every single aspect of what's possible in these states throughout America.
In New York, I've talked to some members of your delegation, Democrats who want New York to change the maps, to try to add seats, Democratic seats in New York. Would you support that effort in your state?
Let me just simply say the maps in New York are not as fair as they could be.
That sounds to me like you're open to changing it before.
I look forward to having a conversation with the governor about how do we ensure that New York maps are as fair as possible in an environment where you've got extreme MAGA Republicans and Donald Trump doing everything they can to undermine the will of the voters and undermine the principle of free and fair elections across the country.